Happening now, new questions about A-Rod's future in baseball. A day after the Yankee slugger stormed out of his own arbitration hearing. He was appealing his 211-game ban following doping allegations. Well, not long after his dramatic departure from the hearing, he took his fight to the radio, blasting MLB Commissioner Bud Selig for not testifying and then denying publicly that he ever took performance-enhancing drugs. Well, joining us now, Dan Schorr, a former prosecutor, and Heather Hansen, a trial attorney. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
He's appealing his ban at this arbitration hearing at MLB headquarters. Yesterday, not only did he storm out, he punched a wall, he kicked a briefcase, he pounded his fist on the table and announced, "This is effing BS," only he used the real words, before he stormed out. Dan, did any of this do him any favors?
Whether you're in a court of law or an arbitration hearing, throwing a tantrum is never a good idea. It's never going to help you. Here, he's upset that Bud Selig, the commissioner, won't testify, but that's like a criminal defendant in New York City wanting the head district attorney to testify, or a federal defendant wanting the U.S. Attorney General to testify. Unless Bud Selig has material evidence that he can testify to, such as if he interviewed a witness or he witnessed something relevant to this case, other than that, there's no reason for Bud Selig to testify, and A-Rod is probably doing this as a public relations tactic, not necessarily as a legal tactic.
Yeah, Heather, as Dan said, he's angry that Selig isn't appearing at the hearing. Major League Baseball being represented instead by the Chief Operating Officer, Rob Manfred. Selig, though, apparently never testifies at these things, and MLB says the real problem here is that A-Rod will not testify under oath. What about that?
I think A-Rod never had any intention of testifying under oath, and I think that this is an excuse for him not to have to testify. I think really, Patty, and he has given up on this case. He's given up on the arbitration. He has a case in state court that will soon be transferred to federal court where he hopes to really push the issue. But I think he's faced the fact that he's not going to be happy with the result, and so he's willing to sort of throw everything to the wind and act like a baby.
Well, Dan, he's also trying to throw it to the court of public opinion. Right after this, he went on a popular sports radio station, WFAN, and told Mike Francesca that he didn't take any performance-enhancing drugs. Well, you know, Rick Leventhal was on earlier pointing out that he has made this denial before to the media, only to later admit that he did use them earlier in his career. So why the new denial, and why on a radio station and not under oath?
This is the first time he's made a public denial about these specific allegations of performance-enhancing drug use. And as you said, this is not under oath. If he said it under oath and if it came out that he wasn't telling the truth, he could be criminally prosecuted here. So once again, this is a public relations tactic. We've seen other athletes, such as Ryan Braun from the Milwaukee Brewers, give these public, very firm statements that they never used performance-enhancing drugs, and then it comes out not to be true. So his statement is suspect. He walked out of the hearing where he had the opportunity to present evidence. Right now, it's about his legacy and public opinion, not necessarily how many games he's suspended for, because the arbitrator's going to suspend him, probably close to, if not all, of the 211 games that baseball wants him to be suspended for.
All right, moving on to the next topic. A trial is underway right now for a Las Vegas woman accused in a botched plot to murder her husband. Prosecutors say she hired her brother and her son to kill him so she could collect on his life insurance policy. He was shot in the neck just 7 days before their divorce was finalized, and he lived. So it's an interesting trial right now. Amy Bessie, accused of having her brother and 22-year-old son shoot her husband as he drove on a highway near Las Vegas, and the husband, Robert Bessie, was indeed shot in the neck. And he says the shots came from a gold SUV, and in fact, Heather, there is gas station video showing the brother, Richard Pearson, and the son, Michael Bessie, in a gold SUV. How strong is this case?
The case against the brother and the son is certainly very strong, Patty, and as you've said, they have this video from a gas station with them in a similar SUV. The case against Aunt is not as strong. You know, she's in the case for conspiracy. They're saying that she helped plan it and she initiated the plan to kill her husband. But there's no direct evidence that we've seen thus far that she actually did so. There's a text message to her from the brother that said, "I love it when a plan comes together." But that's not her initiating the text messages. I think it's going to be a difficult case to prove against her.
Right. Dan, the brother and the son being tried separately, but the motive here for Amy Pearson would be the life insurance policy. Their divorce was not yet final. The policy hadn't been changed, so she did stand to make money if this killing came through before the divorce. Is motive enough to convict somebody without enough direct evidence?
motive's not enough. Motive is certainly important, and here she has the motive because she stands to gain money if this murder is carried out. She has the opportunity because it looks like her brother and her son were probably involved in this murder, but as Heather said, you have to show some affirmative act on her part, not just receiving a text message showing that she actually was part of this conspiracy, part of this planning. We're early in the trial, so it's possible, and I would expect more evidence to be presented by the prosecution, but it's going to be tough based on what we know now to gain a conviction.
All right, Dan Schorr, Heather Hansen, thank you both for joining us.
Thank
you.